A very warm welcome to you all. You're watching Channel 405. This is AN7 Prime. I'm Lesego Mokwanane. In your top story at this hour, the South African Communist Party has ended its 14th Congress by resolving to contest elections. The SACP's second Deputy General Secretary, Chris Matlako, says the Communists will contest elections. The exact modality in which it will happen still needs to be determined. SACP leader Bladen Nzimande says party would meet with its alliance partners to discuss the resolutions adopted at the Congress.
Firstly, our resolutions say we may or may not contest separately in the context of a reconfigured alliance. That is why we are talking of a roadmap, which also will be informed by the kinds of engagements that we have. So, allied formations contesting elections independently does not necessarily make an opposition. That's not where we are at this point in time. Remember, we are an independent political party. And also, you will recall that, not even you will recall, you say it here, the manner in which the alliance functions must change. Reconfiguration that we are talking about. We need to discuss that together. Firstly, whether the alliance as a whole in principle agrees to that reconfiguration. If there's agreement, then we are able to sit and engage and say, okay, how would that reconfigured alliance? If then the alliance doesn't agree, then it means the future if the alliance actually hangs in the balance.
United Democratic Movement leader Bantu Olomisa has questioned whether the SACP is really going to contest the 2019 national and provincial elections alone, or whether its announcement is merely a stage-managed ruse. The UDM says that in order for the SACP to prove that they are serious about this plan, all the party's cabinet ministers, members of parliament and legislatures, as well as councillors, should immediately resign to prevent access to government funds and resources to bolster their campaigns. And Bantu Olomisa, UDM president, joins us over the phone line. A very warm welcome to you and thank you very much for joining us here at AN7 Prime. Just take us through your reaction on the SACP standing alone come future elections. Why is the reason that you want them to prove to the nation by stepping down on the various positions in government?
Well, the SACP says they are going to run elections separately. And we are saying they are benefiting through the ANC. They are like parasites. They are benefiting from the ANC. And now if they are no longer going to contest election under the banner of the ANC, but using state cars and so on in the meantime, preparing or building their party, why must we trust them? So I suspect that this is nothing else but a far-fetched strategy. It's a stage-managed ruse to draw attention away from the struggling ANC leadership, whose credibility is questionable. So it's clear that the SACP is stepping into limelight just to take a moral high ground for now. And once results are announced in 2019, the SACP and ANC would enter into coalition government. So in other words, they are just there to confuse the voters. Don't take them serious.
All right. Now, the party says it will argue for a reconfigured alliance where all members of the alliance will be treated equally and make governance decisions together with the ANC. What is your view on this?
Then that means we are correct. It's just a stage-managed exercise. It's very good that we have exposed them from the word-go. So there will be no separate elections here. These people are just confusing voters. They can see that the ANC members who are disgruntled are going to go and join other parties. And they are trying to contain that flow. But their strategy is naked.
And I'm just going to bring in ANC National Spokesperson, Mr. Zizi Godwa. He joins us over the phone line as well. A very warm welcome to you and thank you so much for your time. I wonder if you did hear what the UDM movement leader, Bantu Olumisa, has been saying, as I had posed the question to him, that the SACP says it will argue for a reconfigured alliance where all members of the alliance will be treated equally and make governance decisions together. What is your stance on this?
You're asking the right question, but you are wrong person. Olomisa is not a member of the ANC, neither is he a member of the Communist Party. The Communist Party is in alliance with the ANC, and therefore it's only appropriate that it is the ANC with Communist Party that must discuss the implication of their resolution. We have noted the resolution, and we await a bilateral with the Communist Party, which is still upcoming, to discuss the implication of their resolution for the entire alliance. You will recall that we've just held a very successful policy conference, and among other desires and aspirations that are adopted by the policy conference is that we must accelerate and double our efforts to strengthen the alliance. The question we must ask, to what extent is the resolution strengthening the alliance? So the doomsayers that you spoke about earlier, they will obviously say whatever they want to say, but they will not understand and appreciate the role of the Communist Party in relation to the entire alliance. So at the point of view of the ANC is that at the moment we haven't had an opportunity, except a reading from the media, about the resolution, what does it mean, and in detail. And of course we wait for our alliance, a very reliable partner, the Communist Party, that will have a bilateral. It is that bilateral that will clarify us going forward.
Let me just go back to Bantu Olumisa. You heard there from the spokesperson of the ANC that not much should be really coming from the UDM, as we know that you had said that the situation that is taking place with the SACP saying that they want to reconfigure, and you saying that this is confusing the voters. What's your stance?
Well, I've just heard this young man across there. And he must know that when the news are in the public of the alliance or any other political party, everybody has a right to comment. So I'm exercising my right to comment. But we wish them good luck in whatever they are trying to do as an alliance, but not under this strategy which has been announced today. It's not going to fly.
All right. I'm just going to I'm just going to hold you on the line, sir, and just go back to the spokesperson. Mr. Godwa, how do you see the SACP's call for the future elections? Is this a feasible statement or comment that has come from the SACP in the closing of their conference today?
It's important that we must not be ahistoric when we discuss their resolution. It's not the first time that the Communist Party is discussing a possibility to contest state power in the context of advancing the ideals of socialism. Not so much about its difference with the African National Congress. I'm asked about how does it influence society in terms of ideals of achieving socialism tomorrow. So it's not the first time. There have been many conferences of the Communist Party, congresses of the Communist Party, many of whom have acknowledged that that view has always been subjected to further discussion. It's not the first time now. So those who are historic, who are celebrating what may be, in their view, a demise of the alliance or a demise of the ANC, unfortunately, I don't think they are being correct in terms of their analytical tools. That's why I'm worried that instead of analyzing with the Communist Party and the alliance implication, you bring someone with no understanding except to celebrate what in his view may be the demise of the Communist Party or the demise of the alliance. Our view is that these are necessary contradictions in the alliance. They've been there in the past, but the best is how do we manage these contradictions for the sake of advancing the strategic objective of the National Democratic Revolution. We may disagree or differ in terms of the stage and the pace at which we're advancing NTR. But our enemies will always celebrate any disagreement. But for us, these are contradictions require what is called leadership.
But now, Bladen Zamande said that the SACP contesting elections doesn't necessarily mean they will oppose the ANC. Is this some kind of play of words by the SACP, or are they just keeping ANC happy for the time being?
Precisely because we don't want to respond to sound bites. What you are reporting to me is a sound bite I heard. For the ANC, a communist party is a reliable ally. We need to sit down and understand the context within which that decision is taken. But most importantly, what does it mean in terms of the call to reconfigure the alliance, the call to unite the alliance? Because arising out of a successful NPC, the National Policy Conference, is that we must, which focused on organizational renewal, we must build our structures, we must strengthen the alliance. To what extent this call, therefore, advances the ANC, but also makes sure that it does not undermine the political hegemony of the ANC in society. These are historical and political issues we must discuss. Leave aside subjective factors. That's why it's important that we can't discuss subjective factors and leave what is called objective reality, an idea which our people still believe, the African National Congress.
All right. Now, do you think that an ally who is thinking of deserting the alliance will be helpful and fully committed to the policies of the ANC in the days to come?
The issue is not just the divorce. We must understand what then are the issues that are raised. Because the issue is that a divorce, it means you have got nothing to do with a partner necessarily. The Communist Party says we will contest state power for obviously ideological reasons, not because it is in flight, it is in contrast with the ANC in terms of leapfrogging and taking the struggle forward, in terms of national democratic revolution. Because what the Communist Party says is that the highest stage of national democratic revolution is led by the ANC, is through socialism, defeat of capitalism. Therefore, it can't achieve socialism without the ANC advancing the cause of a national democratic revolution. That is a strategic debate that the party is raising. The ANC can't be emotional about it. Equally, you can't invite some analysts who are emotional about it because of narrow political advances on the issue. For us as the ANC and the party and the alliance, we need to debate this issue strategically 23 years into democracy. What are the things that we need to do and accelerate and do better, different than what we have done for the past 23 years, to an extent that it must address the needs of our people, not compromising the agenda of a national democratic revolution, of delivering what is called, for example, land disposition. If the historical mission of the ANC is to was established on the basis of land disposition, the ANC must redistribute land to our people without compromising. These are the issues that the Communist Party is raising. I'm leaving aside the subjective issues that are raised about the conduct of cadres of the ANC, the allegations contained in the emails about Guptas and so on. Those are the issues that perhaps those who analyze from outside may think are the driving force behind this resolution. No. From our point of view, this discussion has been there even when there were no allegations, but because state power is important in terms of social transformation.
Now we know that Bladen Zamande is the Minister of Higher Education, and we know that there has been a lot of problems that have been going on with the fees must fall protests that have been taking place as well. Just looking at the Minister there, is he trying to most probably break ranks over there?
No, I think the question is irrelevant. To an extent that, comrades, we're a democratic alliance, we're a democratic organization in terms of the ANC. It's important that we must allow comrades to ventilate and express their views. We are not an alliance of conformity. It's an alliance based on strategic alliance and agreement. If there are issues of disagreement, we exist independently. The Communist Party has got a right 100% to raise its own views independent of the ANC. But however, at the end of it, it must strengthen the ANC. It must not weaken the ANC, whatever decision it takes. That's why we'll come to a bilateral to say, to what extent your decision weakens the ANC and weakens the party. And you must remember very well that members of the ANC and the party, they share what is called dual membership. Members of the ANC are members of the party, members of the party are members of the ANC. What are the implications of that decision practically? So it's important that we don't get overwhelmed by emotions when we discuss these issues. Let's allow the Congress of the party to take its decision. At the end, cautiously, the party will come to the African National Congress to engage as a leader of the alliance. Already the General Secretary has expressed that desire, that they will meet with the ANC. We are already doing something, responding on sound bites. That's why we don't want to respond in detail about what we think, therefore, this means. But it's important that we note it, but what are the implications of it is a matter and the function of the meeting that we must still have with the Communist Party.
And just lastly, if there would be one message that you would like to give to the SACP at this point, what would it be?
That message is the ability and strength of the alliance. And I guess part of the discussion overall, including the presentation of all the reports by officials of the party, has been about how best do we strengthen the alliance, including talking frankly on some of the issues that may be very uncomfortable about some of the subjective factors of the alliance. The fact that we have now ascended to power, there are issues within the state that are challenging the very same hegemony of the alliance as a strategic center of power. We must talk about those issues without fear or contradiction. We must say them in public. The party has done so. What then needs to be done? The question the party is raising, which the ANC we must respond to. What needs to be done?
All right, thank you very much for that. We were joined by the ANC National Spokesperson, Mr. Zizi Godwa, and we also had a UDM President, Bantu Holomisa, also joining us over the phone line. As we know that United Democratic Movement leader Bantu Holomisa has questioned whether the SACP is really going to contest the 2019 national and provincial elections alone, or whether its announcement is merely a stage-managed ruse.